We're going to go into some advanced studies here concerning the onlays. And I want to show you some design aspects that some of you may know about, some of you may be discovering as I show them to you on this video. But let's take the splash onlay, okay? And what I want to show you is that there are guides on the onlay that I'm pointing out right here. We call them bumpers. And what these are actually created for is to help you take one panel of an onlay and space it perfectly on the other side of a panel that you're putting around a cake, okay? So this is an example of our original product, which is not clear, but I have filled the clear onlay, and you can see that it still has those same type of bumpers, okay? So the question is, well, what the heck are those? And let me show you. I'll bring this cake over, and as you can see, I've already put a splash panel on the cake. And what I want to do now is I want to point out these types of leading edges that remain once we put the pattern on the cake, okay? And the bumpers are meant to actually hug against some of these details. And you can simply take the onlay and almost parallel park it right in there. And the bumpers will line up with the panel that you placed there previously. And then when that happens, you know that you have perfect spacing. So why don't we do that right now, okay? If you can just look close here, okay? I've got a bumper here and a bumper here. So let's discover, what does that go against, okay? And so when I take my onlay and I put it in here, let me just take it around, put it on the cake. What I'm hoping that you see is that my bumper is going around this kind of paisley splash detail, and my other bumper is right up here going up against another detail, okay? So what you can then do is you can go ahead and press your onlay on there. And when you have those bumpers or guides positioned correctly, then you have no doubt that you're going to get a perfect spacing and a perfect continuation of the pattern around your cake. Okay, so I just want to take some time to make sure under these hot lights everything dries out very, very quickly. It's kind of a challenge for cake decorating. But what I want to now do is just remove the panel, and let's see how well that lined up. Okay? Okay, so sometimes things are not perfect. We're going to have to make a little correction there, put that piece on. But now let's look at the splash pattern. You know, it's kind of hard if you're just going to eyeball this and decide, all right, how do I get this in there? But look at the progression from the beginning over these two applications, and it is absolutely perfect as far as spacing, and you cannot tell where we stopped and where we started, and that's the whole idea of using the bumpers that you will find on many of the onlays. So now let's look at another onlay. And I'm going to show you the original style, which is solid. It's not see-through. But I want to point out, okay, so where are the guides or the bumpers on the Bird and Blossom onlay? And we have, as you can see, they're situated right here and right here. And then we have this little corner here and one right here. Okay? So what's interesting is to see where does this line up when you've put the Bird and Blossom on a cake. So now we're going to shift to the clear, which shows you that a lot better. Okay, so let me just do a little stretching here. So we get a nice transfer. Okay, so I want you to watch this little corner right there, okay? And right here. Where does that line up on this Bird and Blossom panel? The reason why I'm showing you this is because this is one of the most unusually shaped onlays. It's very organic, you know, kind of holding a very natural kind of a design. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this corner and it's going to hit right here. It's going to park right here, okay? And when I've got that set, what happens then is that my other bumper fits right around that flower, okay? Now this might be a very difficult onlay to try to eyeball, okay? You know, you're trying to judge this organic, complex, beautiful design. You know, you might get it wrong, and so that's why we put those guidelines in there, okay? So, you know, just making sure I have good contact. Just making sure. Okay, so let's take this baby off. Let's see how that's working. Okay. Now, do you see how naturally the next panel fits right underneath what we had put on the cake already? Look at how even that design is, the spacing. And that's how you'll proceed around your cake. Okay? So, I just wanted to point out to you that on every onlay, we help you by designing in bumpers or guides so that you could space them perfectly and get that effect on a cake. We even have more to help you, and I'll show you that in just a second.